how much exactly have you made over the last couple of months, or the last month with high ticket closing, with remote closing?
Well, the last month I've made over $9,000. Exactly, I've made $9,687 in just 1 month.
Hey, this is Markus Dunk here. Welcome back on the channel. So today I have a very special guest here with me, Juan Pablo, and yeah, today we're going to be talking about his journey, his story, and he has been absolutely crushing it over the last couple of months with high ticket closing. So yeah, Juan Pablo, I'm super excited to yeah, have some time with you today to chat about your journey and your story. Welcome, man.
Hey, Markus, thank you so much, man, for having me here. I'm super happy as well to have this chance.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, my man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, how much exactly have you made over the last couple of months, or the last month with high ticket closing, with remote closing?
Well, the last month I've made over $9,000. Exactly, I've made $9,687 in just 1 month. And
wow. Congratulations, man. I mean, that's that's so close to the 10K. We're gonna get you there. We're gonna get you to 10K.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But that's very, very good. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, tell us a little bit about kind of where have you been, Juan Pablo, when we first met, you know, when we first had our call. Let's start there. You know, how are things like before you joined the mentoring program?
Yeah, well, before I came to you, it was completely different because I was struggling with an Amazon FBA business. I've tried that business for 4 years, and I had no results really. Like I was trying so hard and I was having no results. And at the moment I came to you, I was really desperate. I was about to giving up because I thought that was not for me. That's what I thought. But thankfully I came to you and I saw what you were doing and how much attention you were putting into your students. And I say, I had to give it that last chance. This could be something that could work for me. And that's when I decided to approach to you.
Yeah, I remember perfectly our first call. And when you told me that you've tried Amazon FBA, because we have a few students who have like an Amazon FBA history, so to speak, who try to make it work and it didn't quite made it, and me myself included. And I remember perfectly when you told me you did that for 4 years. I was like, wow, you know, that's really someone who's very persistent, very resilient, and I just want to give you credit for that, man, because I think that's a very, very good character trait you had, just not giving up and just like going for it and going for it and going for it. And I also believe that was one of the things why you made it work so quickly with this program, because you were just hitting the ground running, literally executing, you know, and yeah, not questioning anything, just doing the job, so to speak. That's just doing the work.
Yeah, and I remember when I decided to join the program, I just put one thing on my mind. Like I said, okay, I'm gonna do the mentorship, but whatever Markus say to me, doesn't matter what it is, I'm gonna do it. Doesn't matter if I'm freaking out or is something crazy for me, I'll do it. And that's how I implement it. And it worked, man. You helped me out.
Awesome, man. Yeah, we made it work together. And you're also a super coachable guy, you know, basically a dream client, I have to say. Very easy to work with you. So credits to you, props to you, man. I mean, what exactly have you been doing before? I mean, you have doing the Amazon FBA. Have you doing anything else at the side? Have you been working, or were you just like focusing on Amazon FBA at that time?
No, I was also doing a retail business. The products that didn't work for me on Amazon FBA, I sent them to my address in Mexico, and I had to sell them like face to face or via Facebook ads or something. And that's the way I was making my living, so to speak.
Gotcha.
So
okay,
it was just sales as well.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. And I mean, right now, the position that you're closing on, or the deals that you're closing, is that in English or is that in Spanish? Or like, tell us a little bit about that.
I'm currently closing in Spanish. It's crazy because the Spanish market is, I would say, is much better than the English in my offer. The Spanish closers we are making more money than the English ones, and sometimes I can make some English calls as well, but mostly I'm closing on Spanish.
Wow, that's great, because like there's so many people who think, hey, I cannot do that if English is not my first language, or I speak with an accent. So what would you say to someone who maybe is watching this and they're worried about, oh, well, maybe I'm in Latin America, or maybe I speak with an accent, or English is not my first language. What would you say to someone who maybe has, who's not quite sure if that would work for them?
Well, I actually would consider that as an advantage. To have a second language is more an advantage than a disadvantage, because if they already know the English language, they can get something. But if they have the mother language, like for example Spanish, in my case, they will get something much, much easier than someone who only speaks Spanish. I'm sorry, who only speaks English. So that's it. Don't stop because of that. Your language is an advantage. Just remember that.
Yes, absolutely. How long did it take you to get results, or get like the first traction? Maybe we can go a little bit into that. So when did you join the mentoring program exactly? And then when did we start to get some tractions? And then when did you had like when did you start like really having like big months in terms of income?
Yeah, I officially joined the program on the 7th of February of 2022, in this year. And by the middle of April, exactly on 13 April, I was already closing deals. Like on the 13th of April, I made $1,000. So it was not even the 3 months, and I started making some results with closing.
Yes. Wow, that's great. So it was relatively fast with you as well, like considering like what you have going on and all of that. So that's great. How much did you that's another question I have. Was it did you dive into this full time, or how much time did you spend on actually developing the skill, working on this mentoring? Because sometimes there's the question, how much time does it take? Is it a lot of work? Tell us a little bit about that in your case.
Well, in my case, I was putting like 5 hours Monday to Friday. Like I was doing the role plays, I was listening to the videos on the program. So I would say, but in my case, I was a little bit like desperate to get some results. That's what I put it too much time. But if someone puts like just 2 or 3 hours per day, it will work. I would say that's more than enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do agree. Like I always give the suggestion to people who may be working in a full-time job, or they have like other commitments, as long as you have like 7 to 10 hours on average per week, a little bit more than an hour per day, and you're consistent with that, that's something that you can commit to. That's more than enough time usually to get traction, to get some results, to get something going. What would you say to someone, because that's a question I often get, what is a closer? Like, what is a remote closer doing? What exactly is it? And I'm sure there were some people that have asking you in your life that you had to explain this to you, like, what exactly is it that you're doing right now? How would you explain that to someone who might be watching this and is like, I have no idea what remote closing is, high ticket sales, what is that? What would you say in like your words?
This basically helps someone who is interested in getting something, and you are just there to answer the questions they have, and that's it. Like you only guide them. Like I would say you're not like a salesman, but more like an advisor, I would say, because they came to you and they ask you, hey, this is going to work for me, or what can I do, or how can I do it? And you explain to them, and that's it. You explain to them what you have to do and what they have to do, and that's it. You close the deal, and that's what a closer do. Close the deal.
Very good summary. Very good summary there. Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, you absolutely been crushing it. You changed the entire direction of your life with that. So what does your, before you go into that, before you go into that, what exactly is it right now that you're closing? Like what are you closing? Like what kind of program is that, or service is that, or what exactly is it that you're closing?
Well, it's kind of funny because I'm closing an Amazon FBA course, an Amazon FBA program. Yeah, like I couldn't make it work for me, and that's what I say. I have to make it work for other people, and that's what I'm doing right now.
Gotcha. So you also took the previous experience that you had from this 4 years in the business. So you know exactly what are the challenges, you know, where people often have problems with, what are they struggling with. And you also know very well probably when someone might not have a good chance of making it. So you then tell them, hey man, that might not be the right thing for you. Maybe you want to consider something else than Amazon FBA. But at least you also know the challenges and all of that. And you have a lot of knowledge about the business model already from your previous experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I would say that gives me an advantage in that offer, but it's not completely necessary to be like an expert to be able to close people into those kind of programs. It helped me definitely, but it's not necessary.
Absolutely. Yeah. Actually, we currently have a few clients that we invited over here and for interviews in person. And I know we invited you as well, but you had so much things going on. So next time we're going to have an interview in person to person. And we were talking about this yesterday, actually, because one of our other clients, they were starting on a new offer and they don't know the product yet. And we were talking about it is really not necessary that you know the exact product or service that you're closing, as long as you understand the problems that the other person has, you know, and you know that the testimonials and the results of that program are there, you're pretty much good to go, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, Juan Pablo, I mean, you're there in Mexico, right? You're in the north, I think Chihuahua, is it? You're in Chihuahua?
Yeah. Yes, in Chihuahua, the north of Mexico.
So you're in Mexico, in Chihuahua, and you're banking in like over $9,500 per month. And I mean, that's probably triple or something like that than some of these very well-paid jobs in Mexico. Like, what's the average income? Just to give it a little bit of a context here. Like, what do you think is like the average income in Mexico for like a good paid job? Or maybe how much does a doctor make? Like, give us some context.
Well, the average job will make you like just $1,000 per month, $1,000 per month. And if you got a really, really good paid job, you get just $3,000. So a doctor that has like many years in that field is making that just $3,000. So I look at that and I say, that's crazy. Like I didn't have to go to the school and spend many years of my life just completely focused for 2.5 months, and I'm making this kind of money. It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's the power over, that's traditional education versus self-education. And I really believe nowadays university and going to school and studying something, I mean, if you really want to become a doctor, okay. If you really want to become an engineer or something like that, okay, right? But if you just want to make good money, have a cool life, and have some freedom in your life and help your family or whatever, you know, going to school, going to university is almost like a scam in my book, because it doesn't work in our world anymore. It was from the past. For all parents, it might worked, but for us, you know, as long as you become a valuable person and you have a skill set to offer to the marketplace, you know, and you can create value for a company, let's say, they are more than happy to recompensate you for that, for the value that you're bringing, right? And that's a direct reflection of your income at the end of the day. So, man, you're making like 3 times more than a doctor in Mexico. And I mean, have you talked with your family about kind of your journey and some of these things? Did your parents know what's going on? Like, what does your family say about your success, about your progress, and how far you've come in the last couple of months, really?
Well, they are like they don't believe it. Like, well, they absolutely believe it, but they didn't know something like it was possible. At the beginning of my journey, my dad was a little bit skeptical about this. I don't know if you remember that I mentioned that.
Yes.
And right now he is considering doing something like this. Like he's asking me, hey, how can I get into this? And many members of my family want to get into closing, because they now realize they have real proof that we're in a different world. Like you can get results from your laptop and closing deals. So all of them are amazed, I would say.
I mean, for you, that's not the case. You're not married or anything like that. But if they have a partner, you know, husband and wife or family, and they're like skeptical about what we do, like, oh, this is a scam or something like that, you know, often what happens is the best thing you can do is just show them by results that this is real, that is possible. Like you did, you're the best example here, right? Because oftentimes, you know, our family, they want us to be safe, right? They want us to be safe. That's it. And safety just means being risk averse. So not taking any risks, because that means danger, and they want you to be safe. So, but what that does, if you're risk averse, if you don't take any risks, it's very difficult to really grow. Okay, because if you don't take any risk, it's very difficult to grow, to proceed and to progress in life. Yeah. So what our family says sometimes, it's not really the best, not always the best thing to do, especially if we take business advice from our mom, or dad, or husband who don't run a business, who are not successful in business, so to speak. Sometimes they want to do the best for you, but their suggestion is not really the best for you.
Yeah,
you know?
They're more holding you back than supporting you, actually.
Yeah, and that's not to blame on them. You know, it is really just, they just want you to be safe. So yeah, that's like, we cannot really blame them for that. It is just how it is, you know. And life is risky. I mean, you could die, right? so that's just how it is. At least how I see it.
But as you mentioned before, man, I would say it's more risky to go to the school, because you are spending sometimes 4 or even 6 to 7 years. I don't know, depends on the career you're making. And after that, you're not getting results. I think that's more risky than just 3 months of your life, because probably, right now I'm realizing it's way more important time than anything else. And if you put 6 years into something and you're not sure that you're going to get results, what kind of risk is that? And if you have the chance to put just 3 months and get some great results, I don't know, it's much safer this way that we're taking right now.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, because I mean, you can always make more money once you learn a skill, or once you're good at something, but you will never be able to get back your time. Never. Right. So absolutely agree there with you. So Juan Pablo, I mean, what does your day-to-day life look like right now? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm currently full-time into closing because I got kind of addicted to it. I really love to do it. And the time that I'm not closing, I'm able to be in a remote area. I'm in a small city right now. So when I have free time, I just go and take a walk and go to the gym. And basically, I really love that I can be wherever I want to be. Because I was living on a city that I really didn't like too much. Right now, I'm able to live here. It's in the city where I born. There is no too much opportunities, but as I'm working from the internet, I can be here no problem. And that's what I love about closing.
Wow. So you basically just, I mean, you're jumping into this full time. You really like continue to learn, continue to grow, want to get better. But then at the same time as well, love to just take some time off, go like a little bit to a remote area where you kind of can disconnect, you know, we can focus on yourself, work on yourself. And just kind of enjoy your time with your family, with friends, and just, you know, structure your own days and being in control of your own time as well. You know, you actually moved things around to have the interview today with me, which I really appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. I had the chance, and I really wanted to be here because I wanted to give you something back because you gave too much to me. So if this is a way that I can give something to you, I will do anything, no problem.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's more really for the people who are watching this, you know, to see, hey, you know, you're just a regular dude, you know, from Mexico, you know, who really just put your head to this and really just execute it on on the strategy that we share with you, right? So what would you say to someone, Juan Pablo, who might be watching this right now, and let's say someone that is not 100% sure about our program, maybe they are considering of joining, but they don't know if remote closing is the right thing for them, or if I'm the right person to learn from? Like, what would you say to someone who is kind of on the edge?
I would say just take action. Because if you're stopping because of the money, that's an excuse that you're putting to yourself. And if you're stopping because of fear, that's the number one reason they have to come to you, because you will be someone who is going to guide them. Like, if they don't have any idea if they is going to work or not, just they can rely on you. Like, you're going to be there for them. So please don't let fear and doubts just stop you, because that's the only reason that you are not getting the results that you want to get. That's it. Just have a little faith, and that's it. You're going to make it work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, me helping you and the other students is one thing, right? But this is, of course, not just about me. I'm happy to give you guys direction, give my clients direction, help everyone out. What do you think about our community and maybe the people that you met around along the journey over the last couple of months? Like, what was your impression about that? Like, the community that we have, the people that you met?
It's an amazing feeling, because you can really feel like a family, because there is many courses that would say you're going to get to the group, but you never really connect with other people. But in this community, it's like we're not more than 100 people, and it's much easier to connect, and we are talking every single day. So you are feeling like more connection, even though I'm not making the calls with them anymore. They are always asking me like, hey man, how is it going? How do you feel? And even you, Ismael, Carmina, all of you are always asking, like, we stay in touch, and we really feel like a family. And most of the members, if there is someone who doesn't find an opportunity, the members will find an opportunity for you. Like, that's something that just a real friend will do for you. And that's it, man. You feel very supportive with the community.
Absolutely. Yeah. I always say, like, your network is your net worth. So even if you are on an opportunity and then something happens and it doesn't work out and you have to find a new opportunity or something else, another closing gig, if you have people around you that are already crushing it on different opportunities, or they are connected in the industry, you can only fall so deep before the network is catching you. And then they're like, oh, well, I heard about this one, I heard about that one, give that one a shot, and if you're hungry, if you're putting in the work, if you're a good closer, that's another thing. If you're a good closer, it will be fairly easy for you to close that business owner or that company on actually working with you, and that you can take calls for them. And then, fall back on your feet that way. And that's really where I feel also the financial confidence part comes from. That you just wake up in the morning, you're recession proof. You're probably the last person who needs to leave the company, because you're bringing in the revenue, you bring in the money, literally the oxygen of the company. Everyone loves you if you're crushing it, like, because you can pretty much do what you want as long as you continue to deliver results in the company. You just at a very, very good spot, and you always know that you can rely on yourself. Wake up in the morning and nothing can happen. Like, even if you lose that current opportunity, you can always go out there and find a new one and apply your skill and generate an income out of thin air, so to speak, right? Just talking to people, not doing cold calls, right? Also, some people think you have to cold call the entire day. Now, these are people that already have an interest in talking to you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, do you want to still add something to that?
Yeah, like, it feels very different right now, because I previously, as I mentioned, I had another business which was like a retail, and was making money. But the fact that I was making money, I was not sure if I was going to make in the next week. Something that I couldn't rely, and I was not relaxing on myself. Like, I always was very, very stressed. And right now with closing, like, as you mentioned, you have financial confidence. And I know that if I make some money now, I know how to do it tomorrow, and I will know how to do it the next week. So I have a more relaxed life. Honestly, I even have the chance to get a girlfriend or something, just for the financial confidence, because I know that I will make it work on the next days. I don't know if that makes sense to you, man, but that's how I feel.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a feeling that comes from the inside, that you just know you got your own back and you are just a valuable person. And if you're gonna go out there, if you wanna do something, you have the skill to communicate, which is the most fundamental skill that is out there, not just for business, right? Also for your relationships, the people around you, how you communicate with your family, with your friends, with your peers. So yeah. So Juan Pablo, is there anything else that you want to mention here before we wrap things up? Something that we might haven't talked about, or something that you still want to mention to someone who might be watching this before we wrap things up here?
I would say, just for someone who is watching this, take action. And because I know, Markus, that you say you give credit to us because that you say you put the work and you are a good closer or something, but I will give a lot of credit to you because you are always there for us. Like, to be honest, this is the only way that someone can get an advice from someone who is very, very experienced into this, and you are really putting effort, energy, and time into the student who is going to come. So if we can put into your mindset, we're going to get a much advantage of life because your experience will help us. So it's a big chance to connect with you. And for someone who is watching this, don't doubt about it. Don't hesitate about this, because this will change your life in a massive way.
Absolutely. And like I said, I can only give that back to you. You've been an incredible client, super easy to work with, always making decisions fast, implementing, not questioning anything, and that goes a long way, and that's also what for me is very important when we, have these calls with people who want to help or who want help, and I always say, hey, I'm happy to help people who want to help themselves, someone like yourself. I'm not here to rescue anyone. If you just don't want to do anything and want to make money for doing nothing, the typical like passive income kind of thing, this is not for you. Okay, don't apply. Okay, because all the people in our community, these are A players, these are sharks. They're going after what they want. They're hungry. They're coachable, and yeah, just very, very smart people. And I also want to keep that community as tight as possible, as high quality as possible. Right. But yeah, hey, Juan Pablo, this was an amazing interview with you. I think we covered a lot. And again, congratulations to your success. I know you continue gonna to crush it. I really would love to maybe have an interview in a couple of months ago, just to check in with you, see how you're doing, see how far you've come from here until then, the next time. And yeah, so if you are watching this right now and you are thinking, I'm curious about learning more about this, we're actually going to put a link down below. So with this link, you can just apply for a free consultation call with myself or someone in my team. And yeah, then we put a strategy together with you, same that we did with Juan Pablo when we had our first call. And then we figure out, yeah, how to make remote closing work for you, and yeah, how we can get you similar results, like our wonderful client Juan Pablo here. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next one. And you, Juan Pablo, thanks for your time today. I really appreciate you, and it was a great interview. Same here, Juan Pablo. See you soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.